About gonna be talking about the series Lost. Man, I finally finished the series Lost, and I gotta tell you, I love the ending. I don't know why there's people saying the ending isn't good. How was this one of the most controversial endings for a series? To me, this is one of the best endings. I don't know why I remember seeing long time ago a lot of people talking about the ending, and for some reason I thought this ending was gonna be like everything was a dream and it was a coma and one of them wakes up. Has nothing to do with that at all. Then I see people talking about how they were all dead from the beginning. None of this happened. That made no sense at all because Jack's father literally tells you everything that happened on the island is real. So that made absolutely zero sense. It's like the people that said that didn't watch the series finale. It's like they didn't actually watch the ending. If you watch the ending, Jack's father literally tells you that everything that happened on the island is real and that the biggest moments of your life happen with these people. He tells him that. So I'm over here thinking to myself, why? Why are people trying to act like that's not what Jack's father said? Because either one, you didn't listen correctly, or two, you're trying to, I don't know, put your own twist to the ending. I gotta say, I never thought I would have seen Ben be part of that ending. Rightfully so, he was outside of the church. And I like the way that they highlighted that Hugo Hurley literally did spend a lot of time in the island as a number one, and Ben was his number two. Sorry, my teeth are kind of like, I don't know how you say that in English. But yeah, as I'm speaking right now, remembering the ending, I loved it. I love Jack touching the coffin, and I thought it was a beautiful scene with his father when he finally sees his father is in death. So I was thinking the whole time, I'm aware that Jack's father is dead, and I'm thinking, oh, this means Jack died. This is afterlife. As soon as I saw the church and everything, I was like, yeah, this means Jack isn't alive. And I love how they did that whole timeline thing of one, it's, if you remember the previous seasons, it's flashbacks from the past or future. Then the sixth season is like in sync with the present. It's like a sideline from that timeline. So it's a sideline, and they're showing what happens if it doesn't crash. And then you start to realize these people get in sync with their memories, but they get in sync with the memories at the point where they've already met where? In the afterlife. So this is a meaning of, hey, when Sawyer finally catches on to Juliet being Juliet, it's because that's when Sawyer died. So when Kate catches on to Claire being Claire, that's when she died. Same thing for all these people, and it's like Desmond is like used as the representation since he's always been able to control himself within this electromagnetic energy field that was disturbing the island. They show him in this sideline on the last season as somebody who could actually, one, bring them all together and bring back their memories. I like how they did this. I could see how some people will say maybe this is too symbolical, but no. I think this is just, you gotta accept like the afterlife as a reality in this show too. For them to meet again, this is when they meet again. And it makes the most sense because I was thinking to myself, how is John Locke over here being controlled by Jacob's brother, the Black Smoke, but then he's alive in this other sideline? So what is happening here? Basically, John Locke was one of the first ones to die in that sense, and in the sideline, the memories, once he gets them, Jack doesn't get them yet. If you notice, Jack gets them the last. So it makes sense. And did I like how they still kept using John Locke for the representation of Jacob's brother? Yeah, because I didn't want to see John, the person in the acting, go away after season 5. Because, he was too big. Too big. So I did like how at the end they used the whole Jacob and his brother thing. Thought that was really, really cool. Very interesting. And let me go ahead and find some of the characters that I'm talking about. So Jack and his father, Lost, season 6. Damn, my computer's kind of hot right here. This is the new one. So yeah, I love this scene. Because this is when they finally see each other. Let me see if I can show the screen. There you see the screen. So that's Jack's father. They're in the church. I thought this was a great scene, and I just seriously don't understand how somebody could see this and hear when he says to Jack, don't, what he says is everything that happened in the island was real. He quite literally says that. So people just don't understand how people back years before thought that nothing happened actually. That made no sense. And for some reason it was maybe because of the end credit scenes that they added where they just showed a plane crash, but no, I just took that as extra footage. So it was weird to me that people had years back, obviously I just finished the series, thought about it like that, but no, if you listen to Jack's father, very clearly everything was real. And obviously in this scene, like I said, it's sad to see. I realized immediately, yeah, Jack died because his father is dead, so he's speaking to him, and this is the afterlife. And it was sad. It was sad to see how everybody was just saying their goodbyes in the church. Everybody meets once again. It was touching to me. By the way, thank you to whoever just followed. Kevin the Chill 12, thank you for following on Twitch. So, is Jack my favorite character? I think I like Sawyer a lot too. Well, yeah, we see how he was having like this neck issue. Now that I think about it, this happened a lot in that season 6. I wonder. Now that I think about it, I never got a clear understanding of why he kept having that neck bleeding. But that was that. Sawyer, man, Sawyer is my favorite character. Sawyer, Lost. The amount of things Sawyer went through, especially with Juliet, because you got to think about Sawyer. Great acting, by the way. This guy is incredible at acting. But you got to think about how Sawyer, he was first with Kate, right? He basically battles against Jack for Kate. Battles is not literally battles, but you get what I mean. Sawyer and Kate, best moments, yeah. But Sawyer really built a strong relationship with, and I like them both, the dynamic. I thought Sawyer and Kate could be together, but Kate leaves and Sawyer stays in the island, and that's when he tells Juliet to stay. I thought these two were great. Oh man, this is the last scene. This is when I say Sawyer gets his memory back, and in the sideline, because I say sideline if you just got here, because the last season shows what happens if it doesn't crash the plane. So they're still in the island, but then they're showing the hypothetical of what happens if it doesn't crash, because on season 5, they actually do throw the bomb into that big energy space, that big energy spot that they had, and that's when you actually get this other sideline of the plane doesn't crash, they land. But eventually you start to realize this is moving on. That's what they always say on the series in season 6. This is them moving on, them realizing the things with the island is over. And when they mean moving on, it's because they all passed away. And they're in the afterlife, and they meet up all in church. So Sawyer, when he finally dies and he's about to kiss Juliet because he touches her hand or something, that's when he feels everything. Realize, whoa, this is the person I was with in the island. And everybody connects in that way. I thought it was very interesting. But Sawyer and Juliet, really interesting story. I like how they ended up together. Even though Sawyer and Kay were so close. My teeth are like bothering me a little, so sorry. But yeah, for Sawyer, he has to be my favorite character. A lot of things happened. I did like the Jacob and his brother. And I was always wondering why can't his brother kill him? Why can't his brother kill him? So I liked how they explained that at the end of season 6. Basically, the mother, the one that stole from the original mother, wasn't letting it happen where they could kill each other. But then I was wondering, wait, can they or can they not? Because then when Jacob starts beating his brother up and then throws him into that light, I thought, oh shit. No, even before that, I thought he killed him, but no, he didn't. Eventually, he throws him into the light. Because he was beating him up badly before. And when he throws his brother into the light, that's when Jacob's brother turns into the Man in Black. It's interesting to me, they never gave him a name. Man in Black, Jacob's brother. And it always highlighted how he thought Jacob... No. Actually, it's backwards. Because Jacob would always say to his mother that she wanted him, the brother, without a name, to be the one to carry and control the island. But ironically enough, they never give him a name. So it's just Jacob's brother the whole series. And he basically turns into the Man in Black in that big smoke. And he's always wanting to leave the island. So his idea of wanting to leave the island is... it's kind of sad when you think about it. He has to kill Jacob, but since he can't actually kill him because that's how the mother made it to be, he can't find a loophole until he actually finds the people from the island, and Ben ends up killing Jacob because Ben is so fed up with Jacob, never meeting him all those years after leading the island. And then Jacob's brother thinks, finally, I'm about to leave the island. But we know it doesn't happen, which is very sad when you think about it. Can I find Ben? Ben kills Jacob, lost. Yeah, this scene was tough. He knifes him. Pretty crazy. Alright, so we're here, yeah? Am I good on the stream on YouTube? Can this sound? Yeah, this scene was tough. Yep, I'm sounding good. So Ben knifing Jacob. And this was kind of early into us finally seeing Jacob, and I was like, damn, they killed him already? I thought they weren't gonna show him anymore, but no. The way they show him, the way Hurley gets to see Jacob, and eventually Jacob shows himself to everybody. That's why I was wondering, how did everybody then just get to see Jacob one last time if you had already died? I never understood that. It kind of made a reference into him being a child, because he was like showing up as a child, and then boom, he shows one more time as an adult to everybody, not just Hurley. Something I wonder, how did that work? But Hurley lost Jacob. Yeah, this I like this a lot because Hurley was in a car with Jacob. That's when Jacob was still alive and he was trying to get everybody to the island. Then Hurley starts seeing the kid version of Jacob and he wants his ashes back. This is before, once he gets the ashes back, this is the last time that we then see afterwards Jacob as an adult. Now that I think about it, what do people think? What do you want them for? I don't know why, but this line just cracks me up. That's funny.
All right. You took from a lot of things up.
So yeah, how was Jacob able to appear young? That's my question. How did that happen? Somehow burning the ashes allowed Jacob to appear so that everyone could see him. Wow, this comment is from 14 years ago. Let me reply. Seeing this comment 14 years later, it's crazy. And interesting. Let's put it that way. That's crazy. So that's what happened. Somehow burning the ashes allowed Jacob to appear so that everyone could see him, not just Hurley. He did that so he could tell the rest of the candidates why they were brought to the island. One of them needed to choose to be the protector. That's interesting. Somebody else wrote about how maybe Jacob is really the devil keeping the light from reaching humanity. I don't know. They kind of made it seem like he was a good guy, always. But, hey, I don't know. I don't know. I did like that scene a lot. Hurley's like, what do you want them for?
Because they're mine.
Whoever uploaded this at a very low volume. Because why does this sound so low? This sounds extremely low. This sounds loud. Oh man, the battle between Jacob and Jack, not Jacob. Why did I say Jacob? I'm still thinking about the other scene. Locke, but Men in Black actually. This was really good. I like this scene. Like I said before, I like the whole thing of I like the whole thing of these suggestions are weird. Like some of these YouTube doesn't even recommend correct suggestions at time. Like I'm looking at lost footage and some weird videos that I've never even clicked on are showing up. But hey, whatever. The Man in Black had 2,000 years to learn how to fight, but lost to a That is hilarious. Lost to a spinal surgeon. That's funny. To be fair, he was winning until he got shot in the back. Yeah, but 2,000 years, he should have been able to kill him fast. Let alone he was weaker and lost all of his powers once the core was taken out of the... Oh, that's true. He did lose his powers once the core was taken out of the island. He was in a mortal cloud of smoke. That makes sense. So he was stuck in that body of John afterwards when the island thing happened. So the core of the island being taken out took his powers away. That made a lot of sense. Because thinking about it, he was so strong, right? But that's when Jack starts punching him and he actually starts bleeding now. So the powers are gone. It's not the same. That was interesting. That was interesting. Good point. Really good point.
This domestic, of course.
I hate these ads, bro. Ah, because I'm in the Firefox version. All right, which other thing I was gonna show? This series is so long I could do like um I'm gonna do a lot of videos about the series, also in Spanish eventually. Charlie, what a great character Charlie is, man. Let's go to Charlie. Charlie is the blonde one. There's a lot of. I always thought Boone, Sawyer, and Charlie looked so similar to me at first that I would confuse them. But once I know about the series, actually, I know who they were. But excuse me, let me go to the screen. Charlie was a roller coaster, man. The scene where he's not Penny's boat, pretty sad. Yeah, this is an iconic scene. This is when Charlie dies, not Penny's boat. He tells Desmond. Charlie was always a good character to me, but sometimes he did get a little annoying the way he would bother some. Excuse me. Damn, I fell asleep. But I did like the way Charlie would always try to help Claire out, even though at some point Claire kind of got annoyed with him. Then they came back together, so it's good to see they got back together and he took care of Aaron. But yeah, Charlie at some point was being annoying to Desmond. So at some point being annoying to John. But still, for most of the show, he wasn't annoying. He was a really, really good character. This is when he shows not Penny's boat to Desmond. Damn, so this happened in season 3. So we went 3 more seasons without Charlie. But it didn't feel like that because they kept showing him. That makes sense because 3 more seasons is kind of crazy. Damn. So everything's good here? Yeah. We're good with the chat here. I like Desmond a lot. I like Desmond. I always thought how was he able to like deal with the electromagnetic field? Why was he the one? Kind of, was it coincidence that he's the guy that's with Penny, which is Charles' daughter? And by the way, that other scene where they basically make it be known that Desmond is basically Charles' son also? Was that what happened? I was so confused. Yo, this scene was so tough. Desmond lost Penny so many times, it's crazy. Happy that he went back with her, but like, whoa. And Penny waited all those years, even crazier, because remember earlier on, Penny, was it like Desmond in the 1980s when he went back in time? It's like well over 20 years. And Penny receives the call when he says in 2004. Insane. But yeah, Desmond went through a lot, but he helped out everybody. I like how he basically brought everybody together back in the last season. I'm gonna search that up. Is Desmond Charles? Why did people say Desmond Charlie's dad? That makes no sense. Why are people saying that? What? Nah, wait. That makes no sense. What are they saying? No. I remember, yeah, that on the show they name him Charlie, right? Exactly, Charlie Pace. I was reading this wrong. Like, what? I was so confused for a moment. Obviously, they named him after Charlie. It's not that it was literally Charlie. That would have confused the fuck out of me. That was confusing. But I was gonna say, is Desmond Charles Whitmore's son? No, Charlie is not Charles. I didn't say I didn't say Charlie. I said Desmond. Charlie is the son of the Penelope Pennyworth. So it's just son-in-law. But I'm confused because the woman that is the mother of Daniel Faraday. Why is there a point in time they act like that's Desmond's? Oh no, maybe I'm confusing it with Daniel. Yeah, I'm probably confusing it with Daniel. I think I am. Yeah. Sorry, I confused it with Daniel because Charles visits Daniel when he's having that mind problem. My bad. Got it mixed up. Charles Whitmore, Daniel, and Charles Whitmore. Daniel was a really good character, so I like how they show him in the sideline too. Daniel Faraday, good character. At first, I was like, what's he gonna add? But he does. He's basically the reason the whole Dharma Initiative thing happened. Not the whole Dharma Initiative. The whole thing with the others in Dharma, like going to war. Daniel basically is a reason. Then the bomb being nuked, basically detonated, if you want to call it that. Charles Whitmore. I'm still wondering what was Charles Whitmore's plan, because he whispers it to John Locke, the Man in Black. Good casting because he looks very much just like the older one. So that's a good casting. I just noticed that they're two different people. But yeah, the way Ben just kills him and tells the Man in Black he does not deserve to see his daughter live, because Charles killed Ben's daughter, which isn't really his daughter because he stole her from Danielle, was the name, right? But the lady that was stuck there for so many years. But that Ben scene where he kills Charles is insane. Ben kills Charles. There's so much in this series. I haven't even got to that guy. Well, everything that happened with Michael and Vincent, the dog. I like how the dog at the end is with Jack. That was nice. A nice touch. And Jack closes his eyes the same way he opened them in the beginning. But I haven't even gotten to Michael and Vincent, and I just like how they were. The only thing is, why wasn't Michael able to be shown in the... Somebody commented? Francisco, thank you. I love Lost. Tell me who's your favorite character. Yo, Francisco, now that somebody commented, why wasn't Michael in the end? Why couldn't Michael leave the island? Now that I think about it, like, why couldn't Michael leave the island? Michael Lost. Michael Dawson, really good character. When he killed Hugo's first date, you know, the girl, the blonde one that then they showed that she had like a mental problem on the sideline of season 6. I always wondered why Michael couldn't go to the church at the end. And they show him like speaking one last time to Hurley. And he couldn't leave. So I'm confused. Maybe because he couldn't let go. I don't remember why. So Michael Lost, man. I like... Damn, now that I think about it, he did manage to find his son earlier on the series. I always like seeing Michael redeem himself with Vincent and Walt. Vincent, obviously the dog. Walt, his son. I was thinking before about what was his son name. So Walt, the way Walt grew throughout the series was very, very interesting to see. Also, let me go. Now that I mentioned Vincent, I like Jack and Vincent final of Lost. I love how they ended this. Damn, so Vincent never left the island. Now that I think about it. That's crazy. Damn. Vincent never left the island? I never realized that. Yeah, because Vincent spent most of his time with the old couple. What was the name of the old couple? I just saw the series and I forgot them. They didn't show up as much on season 6. Man, this is an iconic picture. Damn. Seeing this now is pretty sad because this is how Jack dies and he finally is at peace and he moves on. And he's at church with everybody. Then his father touching him here. He's with Kate. Sawyer with Juliet. Boone over there. Desmond and Penny. Tough, man. This was sad. This is really sad. Thank you for the comment, Francisco Garcia. But yeah, I was wondering, like, just realized why Michael never. Why wasn't Michael at the end? Michael was not at the church in Lost because his soul was trapped on the island as a whisper due to the immense guilt from his actions. So I was right. He was still feeling guilty, preventing him from moving on. He didn't receive. That kind of sucks, though. I would have wished he. I would have wished. But that doesn't explain why Walt isn't on the end. Maybe because Walt is too young. By the time Walt dies, it doesn't fit the narrative. Also, that's why you see that Ben stays outside. Obviously, because of all the bad he did, even though he redeemed himself with Hurley. But Ben stays outside of the church, and you notice that he's actually waiting for Alex. So Ben is outside of the church, and that's when I realized, yeah, he's waiting for Alex. Right here.
Hello, Benjamin.
This is the real John Locke.
Hello, John. Is everyone already inside?
Tough. Look at Ben's face just looking at John. Ben is a really good actor on the series. Like, incredible. The pain on Ben's face is so real. He could have potentially lived for hundreds of years on the island with Hurley before dying. And yet still one of the biggest regrets, he needed forgiveness for what he did to John. Yeah. Imagine living so long with your all accumulated regrets and guilt. Yeah, so he's still outside and he's waiting for Hurley is looking for him right outside, and he's still waiting for Alex. Because he feels the regret of not saving her. Thinking that Jacob's brother would not let her die. Or Jacob. Forgiveness is such a powerful thing. I wonder what Hurley and Ben's adventures were like. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was really good. Once you've seen Lost, every single show out there doesn't even come close. Some say a few. Deep Space Nine says hello. I've never seen Deep Space Nine. Breaking Bad does a good job. I love Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad versus Lost. Tough. I'm not sure. Tough. Just finished watching Lost. I've seen Breaking Bad twice. Once alone. Second time with my family. I don't know. Tough to pick. I might say it's a tie. I don't know. I really don't know between those two. Breaking Bad. Monk. Yo, didn't I start Monk? Let me see. Yeah. But I didn't finish it. How many seasons is Monk? Damn, it's 8 seasons, man. It's so long. The thing about starting series is so long. I wanted to show a clip of how Hurley's thoughts on the end of the series. I've seen these explained, but basically what I said is what happens. I like how Ben describes it, but let me show Hurley first. Well, I say Hurley, but his name is Jorge.
I love the end. I mean, Hurley gets the island at the end. I have no complaint. I mean, listen, the people, the diehard fans that watched everything, analyzed everything, didn't have as much of a problem as other fans. I feel like the fans that had issues with it, I don't know. There's a lot of people who thought this wasn't paid off, and I was like, yeah, it was paid off here. You know, it's like,
I'll say it for you. The fans that didn't actually pay attention to the end.
there's some people who weren't paying as close attention. That they're more the people who I think had the bigger problem with it. And
I mean, he even says it right there after, right as I said it, so I don't even have to say it for him.
create controversy. This just means that people are passionate about something that you're working on. So I'm not. I get it. I mean, I've been there, and so you know, what can I do? I just play my piano and sing a little song. I wasn't part of the whole creation.
Yeah, a lot of people misunderstood the ending. It made no sense why people didn't understand it. This video explained it pretty well, but I'm not going to play it like that.
I adored it when we shot it, and I like it even better with
He even sounds like Benny.
the passage of time. I think it's a wonderful conclusion. I always say every show dictates its own ending by the form of its narrative, by the way it was constructed. So a show like Lost can't have the same ending as something more linear or conventional. It was a fantasy and an allegory exploding out from the center. So to end it, you must bring all the parts back to the center. And to me, it was really satisfying, particularly if you're
I like
playing
that
Benjamin
description.
Linus and you're left outside the gates of the hereafter on
No.
a cold stone bench because you haven't earned it yet. I thought, oh, that's perfect. I adored.
Great explanation. Coming back to the center, like the way he explains everything, it's like they combined the. I just like how they did with the timelines. I think it was very, very neat, especially for that time. Because again, previous seasons they did the flashbacks to the past and to the future. Then they did this sideways timeline as they're still in the island and if it didn't crash. Just to like combine that into them being the end. Oh, this was the afterlife. This was their way to move on to the afterlife. Really, really neat. Of course, now that you think about it, But wait, if it didn't crash, so they didn't meet during these circumstances, but nah. I took it as this was a side timeline. They do what they do on the island at the end. And their memories are brought back together because the season 5 theory works. So once everything finishes with this timeline reunites with this one. And in the afterlife, they all meet. It's kind of hard to explain, right? Because that implies they were still alive here on the sideline. So it wasn't always the afterlife. The afterlife is once they get to the church. So they get their memories before the afterlife. They all meet once they're actually all dead. That makes the most sense to me. That's what makes the most sense to me. Kinda, I know it's a little tough to explain. But hey, it's part of the show. Yeah, Ben did the right thing staying outside of the church. Who made this thumbnail? They made a thumbnail for Mindhunter, and the title of the video is Lost, Ben Outside the Church. They didn't even put the correct thumbnail for the video. Terrible, terrible. Either that's Google or the person themselves. But yeah, whoever did that, embarrassing. Anyway, Ben, great acting. John, great acting throughout the series. Man, I feel like I've left out so much. What can I talk remembering right now? Kate. I like how Kate basically... Kate, I always felt like what she did was... Well, that's what they make it seem in the series, right? Justifiable, reasonable, because her mother was being abused. It was sad to see Kate have to go through so much pain. Even with Aaron. This is not from Lost. This gotta be from just a regular picture. Because I've never seen her do this pose right here on Lost. But yeah, Kate, very attractive and very good on the show. Great acting. Again, I thought it was very sad what happened to Kate throughout the show, even before the island. But she survived the whole time. With Jack's help, with Sawyer's help. Kate always felt like a part of the show that was never gonna die. I felt like she was never gonna... We weren't gonna lose her in any season. It was like too much of an important character. I did feel like that with John. So then I was surprised when Ben kills him in season 5, but then they used John as the body for the Man in Black. Which, why do they call him that? Because they never called him that in the show. I see people calling him that. I would just call him Jacob's brother because they never gave him a name. But yeah, Kate is one of my favorite characters. My favorite characters, for some reason, Hurley's one of my favorite characters. And Kate, Jack, and Sawyer. Oh, Saeed. Yeah, I can't go without mentioning Saeed. Saeed had so many great moments, man. Fuck. That death, now that I remember, the way he dies. He has to run in this submarine. And it blows up. Damn. That's tough. That was a sad scene. That was sad. That was sad. That was pretty sad. That submarine scene. But Saeed used to be a torturer. He tortures Ben, now that I think about it. Very early on in the series, the way he's torturing Ben, and he was right all along. Ben was just very good at lying. It's funny, I just typed Saeed and the one from Lost is the one that shows up. I didn't even put Lost. But yeah, it was really sad to see Ana Lucia, the way Ana Lucia killed Saeed's person. But they do reunite at the end, which was a good thing. Ana Lucia kills. What's the name of Saeed's partner? There you go. Yeah, this was sad. I forgot her name. Sorry, but they reunite at least at the end. Damn. What's the name of the girl that Ana Lucia kills? Forgot her name. Jesus. Saeed's partner. Shannon. Thank you. So it was nice to see Ana Lucia in season 6 as in the sideline. She's a cop that helps Desmond escape Kate and Saeed. That was nice to see her again. Hey, now that I think about it, they didn't show Ana Lucia in the church either. They didn't show a lot of people. I did notice that the pastor, the priest, the guy who had the brother, he wasn't in the church scene because apparently they couldn't get him to go back into the season because of money differences, negotiations. But what was the name of the pastor? Priest and Lost. Let me put it like that. Echo. Yeah. Would have wanted to see him in the end, but hey. Money differences, apparently that's why he didn't. Yemi was Echo's brother. Yeah, Yemi. So yeah. So many great characters. Always found it kind of sad the way those two characters died that were buried. Buried alive. Lost. These two. But it's like they never really paid attention to them on the series highly. Damn, they were hated in the past. Was that like why they killed him off like that? These hated Lost characters, I never even knew they were hated because I just finished the show, right? So I never saw it in real time. Hurley is one of the best characters, but I never thought about the fact that they were hated back then. Oh my god, I haven't mentioned Sun and Jin. Jin and Sun lost. So many great moments. Super sad ending. When they can't escape the submarine. That was tough. That was a really sad ending. Somebody put Jin and Sun deserve better. Hey guys, first time watcher, just finished the series yesterday. I was disappointed with how Jin and Sun's story turned out. It hurts me so much to know Jin never got to meet his daughter. Technically he did in the sideline afterlife. The scene when Whitmore shows him Sun's camera and he sees his daughter for the first time actually ripped my heart in half. Not only do we spend almost the entirety of season 6 waiting for them to reunite, but when they finally do, they're together for like 3 episodes and then die. Maybe I'm biased because they were my two favorite characters, but the fact that they had a literal child together that Jin never got to meet, I guess ultimately it doesn't matter, considering how it ends, but still, justice for Jin and Sun. I feel it. I get it. Jin had the best character growth of anyone. Yeah, Jin was a really good character. I never liked that they made Sun a cheater. I thought it wasn't necessary. But hey, it showed I guess it showed like a different scenario of what happens, things that happen. Jin wasn't very likable in season 1. That's true. Jin was very annoying at first. So now that I think about it, yeah, someone's kind of tired of Jin being annoying, but obviously I don't condone that fact either, because like I said, I didn't like that they made Son of Cheater. It's just not good. But hey, he was the most stand-up guy on the island by the time he died, in my opinion. Totally agree. True. But I love their characters, so let me not end it on that. Great characters. The only scenes that actually made me cry were parts from Jin's story. The Where's My Husband episode. Does not sit right with me. I get what they're saying, unnecessary ending, because Jin could have gone out alive and Sun would have died, but the idea was he was never going to leave her again. So, I love these characters. Really good characters. Overall, great series, man. I didn't even get into the Dharma Initiative. I always thought it was weird. It wasn't explained entirely well why in the world a polar bear was in the island. And the CGI wasn't great back then. Sometimes it was good, sometimes it wasn't. That polar bear scene made no sense when Michael is trying to get away from it, and polar bear would have killed you. It's not going to stay there like that. But hey, still, I would have wanted to know why polar bears want. The Dharma Initiative brought polar bears. I don't know. I don't understand how it was. But I like the Dharma Initiative. I like everything about that. My nose is itching now. What else am I missing? Damn, I feel like I've talked a lot. Lost, I gotta give Lost 9.5 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10. Great series. Generational series. Great ending to me. I feel like I haven't missed anything. Jacob's real mother. Lost. Let me show her. We might as well show the real mother. Why are they showing the fake mother? This is the real mother. R.I.P. to the real mother. Did I show every character at this point? My bad, guys. I didn't take out the picture, so I wasn't showing the people. I hate when that happens. Because now, basically, I didn't show the images to you guys. R.I.P. to Jacob's real mother. Let me see, what else was I looking at before this? Yeah, Jin and Sun, I was talking about them. I love their characters. Sorry I didn't show. I should have realized over here that I was showing the cover image. Great characters. I was reading the Reddit. Let me see if I can find it again. Yeah, that they deserve better. This was what I was reading. Justice for them the way they died. That Jin should have seen his child. I agree, but I still like the ending a lot. Jin and Sun, great characters, like I said. What else was I looking at before this? These characters. These are the two that I was saying. They died alive. Did not know they were that hated. Buried alive. What else was I talking about before this? Echo. So yeah. Sorry I didn't show this correctly, guys, on the stream. Echo. He wasn't in the final because of money negotiations, but he was really good in the series. Even though I didn't like what happened with his brother and the way he kind of, I mean, he felt bad about it though. He felt like he did his brother wrong. Because Yami didn't want to be a part of it, but very good timeline. The Echo being part of Mr. Echo, actually, that's what it called him. The series. What else? Obviously, John Locke and Helen. John Locke and his father. The fact that John Locke, and not this John Locke, not the philosopher, he survived the whole wheelchair thing. I like how they did. Excuse me. I like how they did Jack fixing him at the end. That set him free. John Locke was so always an interesting character on the series. Peak character. Great character. Hopefully I showed Jacob and his brother. Hopefully I didn't block that on the stream. Yeah. These two went through a lot. When I first saw this, I was wondering, what are these two? Since when are they in the island? But then I realized the whole storyline was really good. Oh. Richard. I had no idea Richard was this old of a character. Then he was finally growing old, gray hairs. Great explanation with the wine covering it and how the island and the black smoke couldn't go out because then it would affect the island, which was Jacob's brother. But I had no idea Richard was a old character who speaks Spanish. That was really good. This is when Jacob basically messes his brother's life entirely. Pretty sad. Pretty sad. So yeah. Did I show Kate correctly? I didn't even know if I showed Kate correctly. Because I blocked it on the screen. I love Kate's character, like I said. Her going to jail, but basically going out. I like how they showed how she was doing these bank schemes, like where she was trying to rob the bank, but in reality she wasn't robbing the bank. She was also trying to rob the people that were robbing the bank, something like that. That was interesting. She looks really pretty here. This isn't from the series though. So I think I touched on everything. I searched this wrong. Just in case I forgot to put Desmond. Desmond and Penny. Yeah, Desmond is one of the best characters too, actually. Desmond's one of my favorite characters. Dude went through way too much. Penny was a great character too. The time she was in the show. Like I said, Penny waiting so many years for Desmond, over 20 years, is insane. I showed Charlie. Oh, I haven't shown. Yeah, when he says not Penny's boat. Not Penny's boat. I haven't shown Claire. I like that they didn't leave Claire out when they're going in the plane. So now that I think about it, yeah. So in that timeline at the end, you see that Kate, Sawyer, the pilot, Miles. I haven't shown Miles. Charlie, great character. They actually leave the island at the end. So that's interesting to see. Successfully leaving the island. Hurley stays with Ben for all that time. Damn. Hurley really stayed all that time. That's crazy. Now to think about it. Well, I like the scene between Hurley looking at dead people and Charlie here. I like how they made Hurley see dead people and Miles could like read what dead people were thinking, but he couldn't see them. Miles is really good in Industry. That's a new series. So Miles Lost. Really, really good. He got to see his father in the Dharma Initiative. I'm telling you, Lost has so many plots, stories with these characters. It's crazy. It's a lot of storytelling. Now to think about it. Why were they seeing early on the show Walt in the jungle, in the forest, whatever you call it, in the island? Maybe it's just the man in black representing as Walt. Yeah, that makes sense. I had no idea they were making characters of Lost. What? Action figures? They have a Sawyer, Juliet, Jack, Claire. That's funny. That is funny. I wasn't expecting that. Sawyer living that whole life in the island in the 70s with Juliet. That was peak. Sawyer and Juliet. That was great in the show. They're living in the 70s. Really, really good. Sawyer, Kate versus Sawyer and Juliet. I like that he stayed with Juliet. I was gonna show Claire. My bad. Claire lost. Yeah, Claire went through a lot in this show. Through too much. But really good character. I even forgot Mr. Echo baptized the baby. Damn. Well, yeah, because Kate takes the baby. And we even see him grown. I forgot about that. And Jack was even with him. The fact that Jack and Claire meet in the sideline. Again, it was really, really nice. It was tough for Claire to see Jack come back and kind of leave her as a crazy person at the end of the show. That was kind of wild because Jack knew that's his sister. That was a little wild. Claire lost, crazy version. If I put it like this, will it show up? The crazy version, yeah. This is when she was Claire, her best arc. Yeah, Claire was really good in that last season. Hey. Alright, man, I think I covered everything from Claire to Sawyer to Kate to Miles to Jen to Son, John. John was... Well, this isn't John. This is Jacob's brother here. I covered everything, I think. I give it a 9.5. Great ending. Might as well go back to the church scene. Ended with the ending. Or hey, like I said, where's the Jack, Vincent? I love that scene at the end. Really, really good. No new comments. Nope. Let me go to the images. Yeah, I love this scene. Hopefully I can put this in better quality. Nah, why they have a blurry picture, man? Uploaded in 2010. Vincent returns to work his magic on Lost finale. Wow, this was posted in 2010. Really interesting. And I'm looking at this in 2025. This is a better quality image. But yeah, it's kind of sad to think Vincent never left the island. Vincent laying with Jack in the end. The same way he was with Jack when it all began. Tough. Tough scene. This is a better quality image. Oh yeah, this image is way better. Can I click on the image or not? Yeah, this is sad. Tough. Vincent, great dog. Great dog, man. Church scene, let's put it right here. Should I put the video or image? The image kind of might be better because of the copyright. Now, this is a great photo. When John and Jack are meeting again. Jack finally understands. The real John. The real John Locke. Sawyer Jen. Libby was the name of Hurley's girl, right? Hurley and Libby. I forgot the name of her. Hurley and Libby, yeah. They were really good. Like how Libby recognizes him in the sideline. And they finally have their picnic date. That was pretty nice. This is Juliet. This isn't Libby. This was nice. I mentioned Michael already, but where's the... This is a nice church scene. Oh, this one the light just starts beaming on everybody. Oh, these are the two older couple I was mentioning. Sawyer and Juliet in the back. We finally understand the ending of Lost. I understood it from the very moment. I don't see why people keep saying like it wasn't hard to understand. Jack's father, like I said a billion times already, explained it. The light right there. It's really nice touch. Kate, Desmond, Penny, Boone over here, and Christian Shepherd. Ben didn't enter the church reasonably, waiting for Alex, like I said. All right, I think I touched everything, man. This isn't from that scene. Ironically, it looks very similar. Might be the same church, actually. Not sure. Why is this image so blurry, man? Because it's a block spot post. Damn, these articles are from 2010. And what I saw was beautiful. It's crazy how old the internet can get, because to me 2010 feels like yesterday. Watching Kobe in the finals and all. But look at how these blog posts look. Get Lost with Joe Opinionated. And people just talking about this series back then. Should we read this whole thing? I might read it myself later on. You guys could look it up. It's too much. It's basically me. Wow, a lot of people commenting. I wonder if this is still alive. I feel like it isn't, man. It's just been so much time, but it's kind of nice to see what the internet was back then. Whoa. He did post in 2023. Is this right? Seems like this isn't. It's been a while since this guy uploaded. Makes sense because this just doesn't look recent. This debate makes no sense. Sorry. But hey. Great blog. I'll read it myself. Alright, I'm done, man. I'm done. Oh, this is nice to see. Damn, too many moments. There's way too many moments, guys. Long series, but I feel like I touched on everything. Saeed and Nadia. I did like that. In the sideline, they met again. Oh, that was a brutal scene when Saeed's person gets ran over by a car. That was brutal. It was Nadia, right? Yeah. Brutal. Between Saeed and Shannon and Saeed and Nadia, huh? Both. But now that I think about it, so he reunites with Shannon instead of Nadia in the church. So that's interesting. This site is kind of funny though, cause it's showing like messages, and so let me delete this. I don't want to get a virus. All right, I'll end it there. Everything comes to an end. Over an hour. 9.5, man. 9.5. $2020. Yeah. Let's end it with Kate and Jack. Thank you everybody who watches. Eventually I'll put this as a regular video upload so I can promote it and get views. The live will be here. And that will be it. In case anybody wants to see this in Spanish, use the auto translate and put it in Spanish. You could probably use it in. I don't think people will, because I'll do another video in Spanish. Alright, man. I'm out. No new comments, so